Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Successfully Selling Your Business. My name is Tanya Gilreath, and I'm a professional M&A advisor and business broker. Or in other words, my team and I sell businesses. Well, I'm super happy to be here today facilitating this session with and for you. So as we know, selling a business is a process and not an event. And every business has different variables that factor into that process. Well, our mission with this podcast is to provide business owners like you with education that will help you position your business such that you will be able to get and keep more from the sale of your company. Our format is simple, one topic per session to keep the session short and sweet. Topic may be general, like business value, owner centricity, types of buyers, or it may be a question that's been submitted to one of our advisors. So let's get on with our topic of the day. Today's topic is confidentiality. We're going to discuss why business sales are confidential and how confidentiality is maintained during the process. Now, if you wanted to sell your car or your house or your office building, you'd put a sign up to let everyone know that passed by that it was for sale. But that is not so in a business sale. Business sales are almost always confidential. And why do I say almost always? Well, because there are exceptions to every rule. I want to tell you a story about a manufacturing company that I was selling a few years back. There were a total of 22 employees. 3 of them were considered key employees. Well, the owner called a meeting with these 3 employees shortly after we began marketing the business. He was very open with them. He told them he wanted to retire. He was going to be selling the business. He wanted their cooperation and their support for a new buyer, and that buyer had yet to be identified, hadn't been determined yet. Well, the meeting took place on a Friday afternoon, and by Monday, the 3 key employees came into work. They requested another meeting with the owner. And apparently over the weekend, they had decided that, if the owner was going to get a large paycheck, well, they wanted a piece of it. So each of the 3 of them laid out their demands for an immediate raise to keep them from looking for another job, as well as a bonus that each of them would receive when the business was sold. And that bonus was basically to buy their cooperation and support for the new owner. The seller had actually planned on giving the key employees a stay bonus, but really he was surprised by their attitudes and their demands. He thought he knew these people. They had worked together for years. He thought they had good relationships, but he found out that things were not really as he perceived them to be. So in this case, the business owner was the one that didn't maintain confidentiality. In theory, he could have waited until a buyer had been identified, had a meeting at that point with the 3 key employees, a day or 2 before closing, let them know that he was selling the business, introduce them to the buyer at that point, and also inform them that he and the buyer had structured some type of stay bonus and that they would receive money, bonus money, in 3 months, 6 months, a year, whatever the bonus structure was. But the failure to maintain confidentiality in this particular instance cost this business owner nearly $500,000. So what else can happen when confidentiality is not maintained? Well, vendors and suppliers can change terms and conditions of the business purchases. For example, the business may have been buying its products on a net 30 basis to resell, and then when the vendor learns the business is for sale, all of a sudden the vendor changes their terms to COD. Well, that can potentially create a cash flow problem for the business because they're no longer able to float those products. They've got to pay for them. Managers or other key employees can get spooked and leave. The example I gave you, the key employees stayed. They extorted the owner, but they stayed. But, there are many people out there that are afraid of change. The unknown is a scary place for them, and since selling a business can often take several months, it's sometimes easier for them to go get another job so they're back into a known versus unknown situation. And what about customers? Well, if the customers find out that the business is for sale, will they continue to buy from the business, or will they go to a competitor? And speaking of competitors, if a competitor knows that the business is for sale, don't you think they're going to do their best to use that information to their advantage? Think about it this way. If a customer is getting bids from 2 companies, Don't you think the competitor is telling that customer, hey, you don't want to buy from them. That business is for sale. Who knows if the new owner is going to honor any of their warranties, right? So how do you confidentially sell a business? Well, for starters, all marketing information is developed in a way that describes a business without providing any identifying information. And then, all interested parties are required to sign a non-disclosure agreement before they receive any confidential information. Confidential information includes the name of the business, the address, financials, information about operations, management, and employees, basically all non-public information. And most importantly, confidential information, again, that includes the name of the business and the address. Nobody knows that business is for sale unless they've signed a confidentiality agreement. All right, so that's today's tip on successfully selling your business. And we discussed why business sales are confidential and how confidentiality is maintained during the process. And look, we know your time's valuable, so we want to keep these short and to the point. Join us again for another edition of Successfully Selling Your Business. And hey, if you're a business owner looking to sell your business, that's what we do. That's our expertise. So contact us at successfullysellingyourbusiness.com or give us a call at 818-781-0082. That's 818-781-0082. Thanks again for joining us. This is Tanya Gilreath signing off, and we'll see you on the next edition of Successfully Selling Your Business.